Couple of big-time first basemen at the game. Cecil Fielder and Tino Martinez visiting their old stomping grounds. And Derek Jeter listening in. They're here to see this ball game as Kia Motors presents the Wednesday game of the week. It's the Oakland Athletics against the New York Yankees in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees lost last night 6-5, but this big ballpark played very small, except for the final swing.
Yeah, 5 home runs in the game last night, including Brandon Allen making his first appearance at Yankee Stadium, his first at bat. He became the second man to hit a home run into the upper deck. A long, long blast, and he wasn't finished. In the 8th inning, his second home run of the game, and this was a difference because the A's had to hold on to pick up the victory. Brandon Allen made his first night here a memorable one, and so did Nick Swisher. Hit a home run to make it close, a 3-run shot in the 8th inning. The Yankees on their way back. In fact, they had a chance in the 9th inning. Swisher at the plate again with the bases loaded. Cold crisp up against the center field wall, and it was that close to a Yankee victory. Instead, the A's take game 1 of the series.
All right, let's look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. CC Sabathia will go for the Yankees 17-7 with a 2.96. Trevor Cahill for the A's 9-12 with a 4.17. But Kenny, his numbers against the Yankees don't play that well.
When you check the numbers out, Michael, he is 0-2 this year, 0-4 in his career against the Yankees. 13.50 ERA. The Yankees have tattooed this young man. He's allowed 6 home runs in 18 2/3 innings and 28 earned runs overall.
And he's going to go up against the Yankee ace, CC Sabathia. A little bit of a slump. Seems like he came out of it last time out. But he's the guy the Yankees want on the mound. When we come back, he'll tell you what that means to him next on Yes. Of tonight's game, and CC Sabathia will throw that pitch. He's the Yankee ace. The 3 years with the Yankees, they've all been exemplary. 19-8 the first year that they won the World Series, 21-7 last year, and he's on his way to another great season, 17-7 with a 2.96 ERA. Big game, you have to win it. The Yankees want CC Sabathia to have the ball. Now, he spoke with our very own Jack Curry and talked about his pride about being the Yankee ace.
It feels good. It's taken me a long time to get there, and this is a great organization, a lot of history, and it feels good to be, be able to take the ball at the front of the rotation in big series.
And we don't know who's going to end up being 2, 3, or 4, but whatever combination the Yankees end up having behind you, how confident are you in what you've seen in the guys who are pitching after you?
I'm definitely confident. I mean, we've had good pitching all year, and I think that's why we're in the spot we're in. And these guys have stepped up great. Bartolo's been huge. Freddie's been good for us. Nova's been lights out, and so we'll go from there.
Now, I know you probably don't worry too much about personal accolades, but this season, Justin Verlander, Jared Weaver, and yourself kind of in a little bit of a battle for the AL Cy Young. Verlander probably has a little bit of the edge right now. He's got a couple of wins more than you, a better ERA. Do you even pay any attention to how those guys pitch?
No, I mean, I watch Weaver just because I know him, and we communicate text back and forth. But I mean, I can't do anything about. I'm not out there swinging the bat. I'm not facing them. So, you know, I wish them all the best and stay healthy, and hopefully I can be right there at the end.
He's right there. He can get closer tonight. Well, I'll tell you what. It seemed like the fences were close last night. The balls were flying out of here, except for the last one from Nick Swisher. Lineup's first pitch baseball next. On Yes is brought to you in part by Columbiana, in theaters Friday, rated PG-13. By Domino's, order at Domino's.com and see the progress of your order in real time with Domino's Tracker. And by T-Mobile's family plans with unlimited data, talk, and text. Step up to nationwide 4G. Yankees have taken the field. CC's finished his warm-ups. Let's take a look at tonight's A's starting lineup presented by HP. A's won last night 6-5 for their 58th win against 70 losses. Jamal Weeks, the second baseman, leads off. Coco Crisp in center will bat second. Hideki Matsui in left hits third. Cleaning up the DH, Josh Willingham. Brandon Allen, 2 home runs last night, will be at first. Connor Jackson's in right. Batting seventh, the catcher Kurt Suzuki. Cliff Pennington, the shortstop, bats eighth. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Scott Sizemore. So that's the A's lineup. That's going to face the Yankees' big left-hander, CC Sabathia. So CC is ready. Digging in is Jamal Weeks. And we are ready for baseball. Let's do it here in the Bronx. And the first pitch is a strike, and we're underway.
Now we got a chance to check out Jamal Weeks. First of all, 284, no home runs, 23 runs batted in. He's been up in the major leagues since June.
The 0-1 popped up. Shallow right center. Nick Swisher will make the play for the first out.
Let's check out the numbers on CC Sabathia. He makes the start tonight for the Yankees, looking for win number 18 on the year. This will be his 28th start. And an excellent earned run average. All the numbers are good. Less than a hit per inning. 184 strikeouts. Let's check out the G pitchers scouting report. A turnaround. CC 7-8 in his career against the A's. That's a losing record, but he is 5-1 in his last 7 starts, so that's a turnaround. Left-handed batters hitting .201, 184 strikeouts. In his first 2 years, he's had 197 each year.
Coco Crisp pitched one deep to left field. Gardner back, looking up, see ya. A long home run for Coco Crisp, and the A's jump out to a 1-0 lead.
Wow, Crisp hit that like he was looking for it all the way. His 6th home run of the year. This pitch is right down the middle, and Coco puts his best swing on it. That's his 2nd home run as a right-handed hitter, and his 6th overall, and it gives the A's a 1-0 lead. He got off the bus looking for that pitch. Ball still flying, Michael.
Wow. Jumping out yesterday and starting today again. Here's Hideki Matsui playing left field today, batting third. And there is a strike. Last night, the Yankees held Matsui down 0 for 4.
I was saying about CC, 197 strikeouts in each of the first 2 years. It appears this year he's going to pass 197.
Another strike. Corey Blazer is the home plate umpire. CC has allowed 6 home runs to his first 23 starts this year, but in his last 5 starts, 8 home runs. The 0-2. Jumps up and hits Matsui, and the count's still 0-2.
Yeah, Michael, you mentioned Matsui making his start in left field tonight. This will be his 18th start as a left fielder. Most of his time this year has been spent as the designated hitter. And he's had a very strong second half.
And Matsui's not used exclusively as a DH because he can't play the outfield. They just don't think he could hold up physically if he had to play the outfield every single day. He's not a hack out there at all, but they just feel physically it's better for him to DH.
There's Bob Melvin, the manager. And he has a lot to do with Matsui's success in the second half of the season.
High fly ball. Granderson to the second out. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense? Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher. That's left to right. In the infield, Nunez, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. That's third to first. Alex Rodriguez misses another game with a jam left thumb. Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. And Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. That'll bring up Willingham. Well, the home run by Crisp snapped a streak of 15 consecutive scoreless innings against the A's, all of them in 2010. So his first go-around against them this year.
Coco's not known as a home run hitter, but he had a home run swing.
Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Well, they know each other from the Indians, former teammates.
That could be one of those video type swings. What I mean is that looking at video, what does CC start me off with every? Let's go with the fastball.
Change up right there, swung on and missed.
Willingham has been the most potent power hitter for the A's this year. He's got 22 home runs, 12 of them against left-handed pitchers.
The 1-2. Of all the players on the A's, only Kurt Suzuki has more at-bats against Sabathia. He's 5 for 24 with 3 home runs. Coco Crisp 3 for 16 before that home run against CC. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Another changeup. And that'll do it. But the A's do get a run. Coco Crisp crushes a pitch from CC Sabathia. His 6th home run of the year. The A's get a run. And the Yankees coming to bat. Presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner's in a little bit of a slump. 2 for his last 25. Plays left field, leads off. Batting second, the captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter. Curtis Granderson in center field will bat third. Mark Teixeira at first base cleans up. Robinson Cano with a 14-game hitting streak, the second baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Nick Swisher. Jorge Posada will DH, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Eduardo Nunez. And Francisco Cervelli, the catcher, will bat ninth.
Well, the right-hander on the mound for the A's tonight is just 23 years old. That's Trevor Cahill. And as we documented, he is 0-4 in his career against the Yankees. Those are his numbers for this season. Let's check out our Jeep pitcher scouting report. He's had a tough second half. His unearned average is 7.62 since the All-Star break. That's the highest of any pitcher in the major leagues. Wildfire, he's up there in walks, in wild pitches, and enough said. Robinson Cano, 545. That's what Cano has hit against him in their matchups.
Well, the Yankees certainly damaged him. We told you that on our open 0-4, 13.50 against the Yanks. Attempted bunt is foul, but check these numbers out at the stadium, Kenny. He's made 2 starts here at the stadium. He's 0-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 innings pitched.
Gotcha.
He's given up 18 runs on 18 hits. That's a 27.00 ERA.
Oof. He had to start here earlier this year when he gave up 10 runs in 2 innings.
The 0-1. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Beautiful night, 76 degrees, 56% humidity. Wind is 15 miles an hour. Seems like it's blowing out. The forecast is clear skies.
For 2 days it's been blowing out.
The 0-2. Well, if you look at the flags over the right field grandstand, they're straight out toward the outfield. And then the big American flag in left center seems like it's pointing out as well. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. So Gardner, who had not struck out in his last 49 at-bats before the first inning strikeout last night, strikes out again here tonight. The A's defense brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Matsui, Crisp, and Jackson. That's left to right in the outfield. Infield, Sizemore, Pennington, Weeks, and Allen. Third to first. Suzuki's behind the plate. Cahill on the mound. Here's Derek Jeter, 22 straight games reaching safely. Yesterday he had 3 hits with a walk and a sacrifice bunt in the 9th inning.
Derek has hit very well against the A's this year. He's hit 500 hitter, 12 for 24. And 310 in his career against Oakland.
He's got his average up to 295 for the season. That one is tapped very slowly, right side. Going to be a tough play. Weeks can't make it. It's a base hit for Jeter. And his average creeps closer to 300.
Once Cahill couldn't make the play, he's getting off the mound, can't make it's up to Jamel Weeks to make the play. The only one he had was a flip it backhand. You can see nowhere near first base, and Jeter has himself an infield hit.
Jeter's now at 297, and he's reached base safely in his last 23 games. That's the longest current streak in the league. There's a strike. The base hit for Jeter moves him ahead of Rod Carew for sole possession of 22nd place on baseball's all-time hit list, and he's one behind former Yankee Ricky Henderson, who's at 3,055 for 21st place.
It's getting to the point where just about everybody he passes is a Hall of Famer.
IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Did he go? No, he did not, said Gary Cederstrom.
I can just imagine what Ricky Henderson will say when Derek eventually passes him. He'll probably say that's just Derek being Derek.
That's right. count 3-1. You wonder if a base hit like that gets the mind reeling if you're Cahill, who has had no success against the Yankees, and then a slow roller puts Jeter on first, and now the count 3-1 on Granderson. Way inside, Jeter was going on the 3-1, and a walk to Granderson.
Well, the A's actually caught a break here with Jeter on the move. It appeared the ball hit the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer. And the ball would have continued all the way back to the backstop, but Jeter would have been on third. There's a pitch. We told you Cahill's among the league leaders in walks and wild pitches. Yep. Got the umpire on the right shin, it appears.
Yankees last night were 2 for 20 with runners on base, and that's why they ended up losing that game. What happened in the ninth inning made it exciting, but the loss actually came earlier. Here's Teixeira, who popped up to third with the bases loaded in the ninth inning yesterday for the second out. Yankees were 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position, so 2 for 20 runners on base, 1 for 13 scoring position.
Good breaking ball from Cahill.
Good numbers for Teixeira against Cahill. 4 for 9, 2 of them home runs. Driven to right field, but it's a foul ball.
Once again, an off-speed pitch, and Teixeira's seen a steady diet of off-speed pitches from these A's hurlers.
Look at those numbers. Runners on base, he's surrendering .417 batting averages and .441 with runners in scoring position over his last 4 starts.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the tough second half that he's had. And pitching coach Ron Romanek. Remember, Cahill's just 23 years old. He's got a long way to go, and they think he could be the ace of the staff.
Kenny, didn't Ron Romanek have the kind of eyes of a guy who knows his pitcher is struggling?
What do you mean, like
he's kind of tired?
Can we get out of this? That sort of thing.
He's already shaking his head. The 1-2. Fouled off again.
Another off-speed breaking ball. Teixeira out in front.
I got a look-alike for you, Kenny.
Tell me.
If we can pan over to Bob Melvin.
There he is.
Comedian Bob Saget.
Yeah, I got you. A little bit.
If the Yankees get one more on base, there'll be a full house. The 1-2. 2-2.
Didn't they have the Olsen twins in that?
Yes. Yeah. Well, one of them really. They both played the same role.
Is that how it was?
I think so. Were they both in the show? Oh, they played separate characters, so that wasn't on my DVR. In fact, there wasn't a DVR invented then.
Oh,
I was right.
Yeah,
everybody said you're wrong. You're wrong. Two played one character.
I didn't say you were wrong because I didn't know.
Oh, I was right for once. The 2-2. Now it's 3-2.
Good stop by Suzuki. Tony Pena has always said that Kurt Suzuki is one of the best in the league at blocking pitches in the dirt. He has to go a long way for this one. And comes up with a nice play. That saved a wild pitch.
So does Girardi have the runners go? Good speed on the bases. Jeter at second and Granderson at first. They do go. The 3-2. Fouled away.
Cahill's best pitch is his sinking fastball.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming, 20th pitch of the inning. Hot shot right at Weeks. It's going to be a double play with the runners going. He flips to first, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We played one here at the stadium. It is 1-0 Oakland. Which of these former Yankees has surprised you the most this season? Your choices are, is it number 1, Lance Berkman, number 2, Melky, number 3, Tyler Clippard, number 4, Kyle Farnsworth, and number 5, Ian Kennedy? That's a tough question.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's Berkman for me, although Kennedy I didn't think would be a 15-game winner. Anyway, you could text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's Brandon Allen. 2 home runs yesterday. And CC starts him off with a breaking ball away.
And Tyler Clippard made the National League All-Star team.
Allen yesterday hit one into the upper deck and right. Only the second player to ever go there. The other one, Russell Bragnon, last year. There's a strike.
It's being recalled from AAA. Allen, there it is. Woof. Long, long way.
Swing and a miss. If you need some help with your voting, here are some stats on those players. Berkman with 29 home runs. Who'd have thunk it? Melky, a 302 hitter. Clippard, 1.54. Farnsworth, a legitimate closer for the Rays. And Kennedy has 16 wins now. Wow.
That's going to be a close vote.
Swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Cervelli. He gets an angle and makes the play. So a strikeout, put out 2-3.
Cervelli had a little problem locating the ball after the swing and a miss by Allen, but eventually got it down to first base. He and CC have been a pretty good team behind as a battery for the Yankees going back to Cervelli's first start in the major leagues. That was at Baltimore, and CC threw a shutout a few years back.
Here's Connor Jackson, hitless in his last 10 at bats. There's a strike. Pitch is high. One. Fouled away. The A's have actually won 5 of their last 7 games, and they're 19-17 since the All-Star break. Middle of May, they were in first place. They were 22-20, and then they just hit the skid. Some of their pitchers got hurt. They don't hit very well.
Bob Guerin was let go as manager. Bob Melvin took over.
Swing and a miss. There's that change, which is working for CC today.
When Bob Melvin took over, you saw that shot of not CC, but Hideki Matsui in the dugout. There's that changeup, very effective to the right-handed hitters. Here it is on Yesmo. You can see the grip. Chokes back on it. Ball hit. He throws it with the conviction of a fastball, same delivery, but the ball does not come out as fast. And there's a swing and a miss for the strikeout.
Here's Suzuki.
When Melvin took over, he went to Hideki Matsui and said to him, look, you're going to either DH or play left field every single day. Up to this point, Hideki had been struggling. Bob Guerin had lost faith in him. And since that happened, Hideki has taken off. One of the hottest hitters in the league.
Driven into right center. Nick Swisher got a good jump and runs it down for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. 2 strikeouts in that 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 A's. Yes, is brought to you in part by the new thriller, The Debt, in theaters everywhere, August 31st. By the new definition of world class, the 2011 Buick LaCrosse, and by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. CC biting his nail as he goes off the mound, as he works a 1-2-3 second inning. Went down into the clubhouse, and Joe Girardi talking things over with Gene Monahan. But there's nobody up in the Yankee bullpen, so everything seems like it's okay. There's Robinson Cano against Cahill.
Well, one of the bullet points on the scouting report on Cahill is Cano's numbers against him. As we look at the overall numbers for Cano, who's creeping up to the 90s and runs batted in on the season.
Yankees like seeing the A's across the diamond. They're 25-5 in their last 30 games against Oakland. One walk. Grounded softly up the middle. Pennington fields, and he'll get Cano for the first out.
He's just a mere 500 hitter against Cahill.
That's going to bring up Nick Swisher. Nick came so close last night to being the hero with a walk-off grand slam, but he drove Coco Crisp back to the NYY stake sign in front of the Yankee bullpen in right center, and that ended the game.
Just needed a little more meat on that bone.
Got a 2-0 pitch, and if he pulls it a little bit more, he is the hero. Bases were loaded. Here it is.
So near and yet so far. You can see the fans behind home plate react, and then the A's are going to react. Andrew Bailey with the save. Bob Melvin, the manager, with the win.
Strike 1-1 to Swisher. Nick did have a 3-run home run in the 8th inning, which made it a game.
He pulled that one a little bit more. And if he'd hit that one in the same spot he hit the previous one, he would have been a hero.
He has 4 home runs against his former team this year. The 2-1. Kind of a wave at that pitch, count 2-2. Swisher started off very, very slowly in April and May, and he's built his numbers up to respectability. His on-base percentage, which is something that really attracted him to the Yankees, it's .377, and that's 10th in the American League. And that clips Swisher, as he will take first.
And that adds to your on-base percentage when you're hit by pitches.
He's got a long way to go to reach number 1, though. Jose Bautista leads the American League with a .456 on-base percentage.
Let's see, where does it get Swish? Yep, just above the left knee, and it also gets Suzuki. So 2 for the price of 1. Swisher, you mentioned the 4 home runs. He homered last night. He homered July 23rd, July 22nd, and June the 1st against the A's this year. He's homering in each series against Oakland.
Here's Posada. He had a home run in the 9th inning yesterday. A very long home run over the Yankee bullpen and in the bleachers in right center. That's rarefied real estate out there. He really crushed it. And that made it 6-4 as he led off the inning. In fact, since July 19th, Posada is 20 for 62. That's .323. 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 9 runs batted in. The 0-1. Jack Curry confirmed on the postgame or the pregame show that the Yankees had indeed put in a claim for Cubs first baseman Carlos Pena. Doesn't necessarily mean that they could make a deal, but if they did get Pena, you would guess that he'd be taking a lot of Jorge Posada's at bats as the DH. And Jack's going to join us a little bit later on, and he'll have the latest information on whether or not they're close to a deal. But a claim has been made.
A claim, when you stake a claim, you show interest, and then the two teams, they don't necessarily have to get together and talk about it, but sometimes they do.
Checks the swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Cederstrom. Count 2-2.
Cahill's used that breaking ball to get the Yankees to commit. And all of a sudden, it's not a fastball, which it looked like coming to the plate.
Strike 3. Posada down looking.
The previous one, he checked the swing. It was a breaking ball, and he thought it was going to be a fastball. This one, maybe think it was going to be the same pitch. Instead, it's the spillover fastball that clips the inside corner for call strike 3.
Here's Nunez. Foul. 0-1. 1-0 A's on the first inning home run by Coco Crisp. Right into the hands of Nunez. Count 0-2.
You can see the movement on the fastball, and that's been Cahill's bread and butter pitch. Good sinking fastball, but sometimes he doesn't command it as well as he should, and that gets him in trouble with long counts. Elevated pitch counts.
Driven out to center field. Crisp back, and he makes the play. Nice play by Coco Crisp, covering a lot of real estate in a hurry. That was a line drive, and he took away an extra base hit from Nunez and probably saved a run. We played 2. It's 1-0 A's. Let's drive to right center, and let's take a look at it with the IOTB HD Super Shot.
Yeah, he's made his presence known offensively and now defensively up against the, he likes that NYA stake sign out there in the deep right center field.
We go to the third, 1-0. A's lead the Yanks. Cliff Pennington leads off, and the first pitch is up and away on the Lincoln scoreboard. 1-1-0, leading 0-1-0, and we're joined this inning by Jack Curry. And the 1-0. Jack, we were just talking about the waiver claim put in by the Yankees on Carlos Pena. Where's that stand right now?
Talk to people in New York and to people in Chicago, Michael, and there is interest on the Yankees end of it, but the word that's coming out of Chicago is that the Cubs may just end up pulling this guy back. They've liked what Pena has given them this year. Yes, he strikes out a lot. Yes, you're not getting much in the batting average department, but he's given them some power with the 23 home runs. He gives the on-base percentage, and he gives you some defense. He might be their first baseman next year, so the likelihood of a trade happening, still possible, but I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Here's the 2-1. Fouled away. See, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, though, because they owe him 1.7. They're not going anywhere. And if they think he's the first baseman of the future, even if you trade him and save that money, you can sign him as a free agent if you want.
You could get him back as a free agent, but one of the people that I spoke to said the fact that they would keep him and would have maintain exclusive negotiating rights to be able to sign him again before he became a free agent, maybe they'd be able to get him back. You know, people have connected Albert Pujols to the Cubs, and that would obviously be a huge score if they could ever make that. But it sounds as if they want to keep Pena in the loop as a first base option in 12.
Well, whichever person told you that they have a better chance in the exclusive negotiating period, they forget who his agent is. His agent, Scott Boras, once he's going to become a free agent, he is not going to sign during that exclusive period. It doesn't make sense as Pennington swings and misses.
Michael, normally I would agree with you. I think that's when Scott Boras has his elite clients. Carlos Pena is not an elite client anymore. Carlos Pena had to wait and wait and wait until he got a 1-year, $10 million contract last year. I think you're right. I think Boras would give him that advice, but Pena might say, hey, I like it in Chicago. I'll sign for this amount.
You know, if the Cubs are waiting on Albert Pujols to become a free agent, they're not the only ones. You know, they might not get him at all. I mean, they might be outbid by just about anybody in baseball.
That's why I think they're maintaining, or maybe thinking about, Kenny, as we said, maintaining that connection with Pena. I still think Pujols ends up back with the Cardinals, but if you're the Cubs, you have to try and at least make a run at a guy like that.
Or Prince Fielder, who's also going to be a free agent and is having an unbelievable year. Sizemore at the plate, the 0-1. Well, let's advance, though, then, Jack. Let's say the Yankees do end up making a deal for him. Well, where does he fit on this Yankee team other than usurping at bats by Posada?
Well, that's what I think it becomes. He becomes your left-handed DH. I think the Yankees would look at the situation that Pena right now is a better option than Jorge Posada. Now, you could argue that it's a slightly better option, but it is a better option. He gives you more power. Yes, he strikes out more, but he also gives you a higher on-base percentage. And though you mentioned the numbers earlier that Posada has been on a roll since mid-July, there have been long stretches of this season where the Yankees have been disappointed with Posada's at-bats. And I think as you evaluate your team, you try and make whatever improvements you can make heading into the postseason. And the Yankees must feel Pena over Posada on that left-handed DH spot is an improvement.
Well, obviously Jack's going to be all over it if something develops during this game, or even after the game he'll have it. So stay with us on that. That one is driven out to right field and deep. Moving back is Swisher. He's going to have to play it off a wall. Sizemore is chugging into second, and that's where he'll be. The ball was bobbled by Swisher. A 1-out double for Sizemore.
Sizemore's been hitting left-handed pitching since he's come over to Oakland. In fact, over a 300 clip, just under 200 against right-handers. So he gets one here, and it looked like Swisher was playing him a little too cheaply in right field. The ball goes over his head. A little double dribble out there, but still it's going to be a two-base hit for Sizemore. One other thing about Pena, the Yankees have him. It's going to be primarily through September, and the Yankees are playing all American League East teams in September. Those are teams that he knows. Of course, they know him too.
Here's Jamal Weeks, and Sabathia wants to talk with Cervelli. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Weeks flied out to right field in the first inning. Until his last 3 or 4 starts, Sabathia was arguably the best pitcher in the American League, maybe in baseball. But he has struggled a little bit of late and has been working on stuff between starts.
Right, Michael, after that last win in Minnesota, he felt as if he was dragging his arm and slinging the ball. He said he was opening up too quickly. He was too quick to the plate.
Line drive, left field, coming on Gardner for the second.
And I think a pitcher as good as Sabathia, when you get late in the season, you think that those bullpen sessions between starts don't really mean much. But he actually worked with Larry Rothschild between this last start, in his own words, to say stay tall, stay compact, stay on top of the ball when he heads toward home plate.
Those are the numbers of the 3 Cy Young candidates in the American League, and you can make cases for others, but those are probably the 3 top candidates. And Verlander has been unhittable of late. Weaver just signed an $85 million contract, and CC 17-7. There's a strike to Crisp.
You were speaking of Scott Boras, and Weaver's a Boras client, and he kind of went against the grain. You know, he decided to take the money. He has a full no trade clause, though. So the Angels, he's a young man from Southern California, he wants to stay there.
And as much as his comment probably made Scott Boras cringe, I'm sure the Angels, when he said, hey, listen, they're giving me $85 million. If I can't live on this for the rest of my life and have generations of my family live on this, then I did something wrong. And you're right, Kenny, he was so comfortable out there. CeCe is actually good buddies with Weaver, something I didn't know. And CeCe told me yesterday that he and Weaver text back and forth after each other's starts. So when I asked him about the Cy Young Award competition, he said that he and Weaver have talked about it. He hasn't talked about it with Verlander, who, as you said, Michael, not only a favorite right now for the Cy Young Award, but is also getting some talk about an MVP candidate.
The 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. said Adrian Johnson. Well, here's the quote from Weaver, which I think is I mean, he's playing to every fan's thought, that fans think it should be like this. Weaver said at the press conference announcing the contract, "How much more money do you need? I've never played this game for money. I play it for love and for championships." And $85 million.
Still refreshing to hear.
Yep. He said there's no better fit than to stay here. You can go to the East Coast, but I don't really like to deal with that stuff. I like the 7 media guys in our locker room instead of the 50 there.
What's up with that?
He doesn't like us.
Jack, it's a shot.
But again, Kenny's right. He's a guy who's comfortable out there. He took a very large amount of money. Did he leave some money on the table? Sure he did, but it sounds like he doesn't mind.
And his brother didn't have the greatest experience here. Not that the Yankees would have gone for him, but you know, a lot of the big money teams are on the East Coast.
Right. I think if he goes out there on the open market, I mean, there's no doubt he gets a lot more money. I mean, he's a low $20 million a year pitcher. He gets CC money, $22, $23 million a year. What Cliff Lee got last year, $24 million a year.
Count 2-2 on Crisp. Runner at second with 2 outs. Top of the 3rd inning. A's lead 1-0. Two. Just missed outside. 3-2.
You know, it's interesting to watch when there's a close pitch that would have gotten you out of an inning. You saw the reaction of Joe Girardi. Then the camera pan to CC Sabathia. Almost the same reaction, like, oh, so near getting out of this.
(3-2), and he doesn't get out of it as Coco Crisp walks, and that's going to bring up Matsui. Follow the New York Yankees with the MLB.com @Bat11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text it back to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. Here's Matsui. Now, Matsui did get through waivers, and you wonder what's the likelihood of Matsui getting traded.
I tell you what, Michael, if I'm a contending team, Matsui and the way he's been playing, I'd want to add that thump to my lineup. I mean, you guys detailed that the numbers that he has put up since the All-Star game. He's been one of the best hitters in the American League.
And he has a reputation as being a clutch hitter, as the Yankees saw in the 2009 postseason, particularly the World Series.
So he's not going to bag it in the postseason.
No, not at all.
I did ask him about it yesterday, Michael. I had 2 firsts yesterday with Hideki Matsui. Had 2 conversations with him in English. He
so
always
you
has,
didn't use your Japanese skills?
No, I did not.
Okay.
You know, Roger, his interpreter, is always around, Roger Kalon.
Right.
And he was there, but Hideki, when he's comfortable enough with you, he understands enough English to answer some questions. One of the questions I asked him was, do you think you're going to be traded? And he gave that typical Matsui smile, very polite, and said he didn't know. Someone else followed up with a question, would you like to be traded? And then he gave you that smile. And he's smart enough not to say it because he has respect for the A's. But I think he'd love to be injected into a postseason race somewhere.
Well, he's definitely somebody in his career who has really thrived on pressure. We talked about it yesterday when the Yankees opened the season in Tokyo, and in the exhibition game against the Japanese team, for him to hit the home run, and the eyes of his nation were on him. And then the way he stepped up in the 2009 World Series, won the MVP.
As the designated hitter who didn't start every game.
Yep. The 2-1. 3-1. CeCe's getting himself into a big jam.
Michael, when CeCe was talking about slinging the ball in that last start, I asked Joe Girardi, how easy is that for you guys to discern from the dugout? He said for Larry and our pitching people, it's very easy. He said they will see it. And I wonder now with CeCe having a little bout of control problems here, if that same issue has cropped up.
3-1. Strike.
I think it's a natural thing that happens to a lot of pitchers during the course of a long season. You get your mechanics out of whack, you get a little tired. you know, the pitch count over the years, the number of pitches you have thrown during the course of the season. All of a sudden, your arm slot gets a little lower, and you start to sling the ball a little bit. And I always felt the pitchers did get tired in the second half of the year, and they became a little bit easier to hit. At least some of them.
Runners are going to go. 3-2, 2 outs. Grounded to second. Cano is there, and he gets Matsui for the final out of the third. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Oakland. SL Express, enjoy the journey. One more game against Oakland. It's a 105 start tomorrow. Mark that down. It'll be on Yes. Then the Yankees hit the road for 5 in Baltimore. Day-night doubleheader on Saturday. And it's a wraparound series, so it ends on Monday night. Then the Yankees head to Boston for 3 against the Red Sox. And then back home for 3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees down 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third on the Lincoln scoreboard. And Francisco Cervelli is going to lead off. Now, you would think professional players wouldn't care that much about the Little League World Series. A lot of people do care about it. Francisco Cervelli had a rooting interest in one of the games today.
Absolutely, Michael. In fact, so did Luis Ayala. Venezuela played Mexico today, and Ayala and Cervelli had a bet. And what they did is they collected a bunch of cleats that they're going to send to Williamsport for these kids. In fact, they're going to be sharing these with other teams, because I was told they have 70 pairs of cleats that they're sending to these kids. And what Cervelli and Ayala decided is that whoever's country wins the game, the other guy, his team has to pay, or he has to pay for the cleats to be sent, and obviously to pay for the cleats. Well, Mexico beat Venezuela 2-1 in a spine-tingling game. It went 9 innings. Little guy named Bruno Ruiz hit the game-winning homer. So Mr. Cervelli will be footing the bill for those cleats to be sent to Williamsport.
Now, don't these kids have to grow into these shoes?
I asked that question, Kenny, and I was told that they are going to be the kids-sized cleats. So I think they had some help, some sporting goods company help. Jason Zillow told me that Modell's chipped in to help out. So they were watching that game. They were riveted on this ball game. Although Jason also said that watching them try and pack the boxes was also a bit of a Keystone Cops routine.
That's good stuff, though.
They have some fun, and it helps the kids out.
I walked into the clubhouse when the game was on. Mariano Rivera, of all people, sitting in the couch, staring at the game the way one of those kids would watch him on the mound. And I thought, if those kids only knew that the greatest closer in baseball history was focused in on their game at that moment.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Cervelli down on strikes. What amazes me is those kids are 13. That's the oldest they could be, I think. And they're playing in front of crowds of like 40,000 people. 40,000 people. A lot of pressure on those kids, but they come through it.
Makes you think how many of those kids are eventually going to be playing in front of 40,000 people making a living. It's possible.
Well, one of the more famous American teams that actually won Chris Drury was on it, and he ended up being a Stanley Cup champion in hockey. That one's grounded up the middle. Weeks fields. He flips to the shortstop, who fires to first. Not in time. Now that's the difference between Weeks, Say, and Cano, because Cano has enough of an arm that he wouldn't have to flip. Once you put that ball in the air, there's a less chance that you're going to get Brett Gardner.
Well, still, you can see they've practiced this before. Weeks flips it to Pennington, who, coming in the direction of first base, can get more on the throw. But still, with Brett Gardner running, you're not going to get him. Maybe some other people they would get, but they're not going to get Brett Gardner.
Ken, you think if Pennington takes that ball bare hand, he has a better shot?
And he does, but I still think Gardner would have been saved. Me, they would have had easy.
Here's Derek Jeter. Infield single in the first inning. He's averaged up to 297. Obviously, Gardner is a threat to run. And he goes. Pitch out. They have no chance. He had such a huge jump, the pitch out didn't mean anything.
Suzuki's had some problems throwing out runners. 67 of the last 76 have made it. And there is Gardner not wasting any time to throw us in the dirt. And no chance for Pennington with the tag. 37th stolen base of the year. You have to catch the ball first as we look in Yesmo before you can apply a tag, and it was a difficult reception for the shortstop.
37 now ties Coco Crisp for the lead in the American League. Gardner a threat to go to third as well. Those are the league leaders. The 1-0 to Jeter. Another base hit. This one's going to tie the game. Gardner scores RBI single for Jeter, and the Yankees and the A's are knotted at one. Derek now has 5 straight hits against the A's.
Now let's see what the pitch is. Whatever it was, it looked like a changeup that was hanging up there for him, and he just strokes it into center field. 3 of the hits that he's gotten, Michael, you called it, have gone to center field, right back through the middle, right where it comes from. Not trying to do too much. And this time it's going to be a run batted in. His 47th of the year, and the game is tied. Look at the head down to follow through. He has done much better job of staying behind the ball.
That ties him with Ricky Henderson for 21st place on the all-time list with 3,055 hits. And he is now hitting .299. Next up, Craig Biggio, 5 hits away.
Michael, he's obviously 1 hit away from scaling that 300 plateau. That would be the first time this season that he was at 300 since April 2nd, which was the 2nd game of the season. About 8 at-bats into the season. So it's been a long climb back for Jeter, but a really worthwhile one for him lately.
Yeah, once you get there, you don't want to go backwards.
Now, Jack, I know you were in the clubhouse after the game, and we read all the quotes about Joe Girardi defending the bunt by Jeter, and Kenny and I both thought that was the play in the 9th inning. What was the buzz in the clubhouse? Did Jeter say anything about it?
The buzz, and I'll give you the buzz in Girardi's press conference room, because there was actually a little bit of a healthy debate going on before Girardi got in there. And I understand what you guys are saying, and I understand exactly what Joe is saying. You want to set that inning up for your 2 big guys. You want to avoid the double play. My issue with it is you have 3 outs left, and you just gave one of them away.
See, my point is, though, you have the two of the best RBI guys in the league, and that's their job to drive in runs. And you put not only the tying run, but the winning run into scoring position.
Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1. No return throw. So Granderson reaches on the fielder's choice. Also, if you think about it, though, it worked out. I mean, obviously the ending wasn't the way they planned, but they had 4 of their best run producers have a chance to tie the game. 1 walked, 1 popped up, another 1 walked, and Nick Swisher hit 1 to the wall. So I think that was the play right there. I mean, Jeter is the number 2 hitter in the lineup, and they're asked to bunt a lot. And it certainly chewed up about an hour and a half on my radio show. Here's Mark Teixeira.
Part of this game is the debate. You know, what do teams do? You know, what does a manager do? Some people are going to agree with him, some of them aren't. And that's on a nightly basis.
He's so hot, though, too. And I know the argument can be made that he was 3 for 3.
Almost picked off Granderson.
He's 3 for 3. Maybe he's due to make an out. Well, he came back today, and he's 2 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats.
Quick feet, quick throw, and Granderson was definitely leaning. Let's see about the tag from Allen. Granderson gets the hand in just before the tag.
Allen almost seemed as if the dirt slowed him down. He tagged the dirt before he got to Granderson's arm. One other factor why you have a bunt there. Last year and the years before that, he has a propensity to hit into double plays, although he's had only 9 this year. Slow roller toward Allen, and he flips to Cahill, and that will do it. But the Yankees tie the score. How did they do it? Some little ball. An infield single. Brett Gardner reaches. Then he steals second. And then the captain drives him in with his second hit of the night. It's 1-1. Four players who won the MVP award with the Oakland Athletics at one time in their careers played for the Yankees. Who are those players? We'll find out in the bottom of the fourth.
I think I could think of 3 of them right off the bat, but no guessing right now.
Willingham takes a strike. So the manufactured run by the Yankees ties the score at 1. And the guy who scored the run, it's a little bit of a birthday present for himself. Brett Gardner turns 28 today.
Yesterday behind the batting cage, Joe Girardi said, "This is the most speed I've ever had with this Yankee team." And of course, the Yankees lead the league in stolen bases. Gardner, of course, leads the parade. Granderson's up there with over 20 stolen bases. He's got 24. Jeter's got 13. And Eduardo Nunez, 19 stolen bases.
A lot of baseball birthdays today. And our producer, Bill Boland's mom, Winnie Boland, also her birthday.
Really?
Happy birthday, Winnie. Your son annoys us a bit, but we love him.
He's not laughing, Michael.
The truth sometimes stings. The 3-1. Lofted into center field. And right there is Granderson for the first out, retiring Willingham.
Ball had a little curve to it just at the very end, and Granderson stayed with it for the out. Sometimes you hit those line drives and they kind of knuckle out there to the outfielders. All of a sudden it looks like a Tim Wakefield pitch. You see Granderson reach back quickly to his left to haul it in for out number 1.
That's going to bring up Brandon Allen. Now, one thing I noticed about Allen yesterday, which stands out in today's sports world, and that's kind of sad in itself, he hit this monstrous, towering home run and never stood there and watched it.
Right, Michael. I spoke to him for our batting practice show today, and he said I will never watch a home run. He said, I want to appear or make it show that I've done this before. He said, I'm going to hit it, I'm going to put my head down, and I'm going to run no matter how far I hit it. So I said to him, well, you must have found out that that one went pretty far. And he goes, yeah, I heard it was a bomb. But we were doing the interview in the third base dugout, and I started to point it out to him after the interview was done. I actually wish this was on camera. And I said, you realize that's where you hit it? And he looked up and he said, wow, that is pretty high up there, isn't it?
Well, it was a former Oakland A who started watching it. It was Reggie back in the day. Of course, Reggie could hit him a long way.
This kid was very humble, though, very soft-spoken. Said he comes from a small town in Texas, Montgomery, population of about 600. And that was his upbringing. That was his background, to just be humble about everything. And even being here now, and, of course, we need to take a look at this again. I mean, just a monstrous shot.
Well, he's had only 10 games in the big leagues and already hit one in the upper deck at Yankee Stadium. And then he followed that with another one in the 8th inning. So his first game at Yankee Stadium, 2 home runs.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out. Kenny, I've never asked you this. You know, you were playing about the time when Reggie started admiring his home runs.
Yeah.
What was the reaction of players in baseball? Did they not like it?
Pitchers didn't like it particularly. But, you know, they kind of understood Reggie. Reggie was a showman and probably the best of his time during that back in the 70s and the 80s. But even prior to that, Reggie played in the 60s as well. And what Reggie used to say, he's the one who put the meat in the seeds.
Here's Connor Jackson. And a strike.
That home run he hit in the All-Star game will still go down as one of the most majestic home runs. I know it's an exhibition game, but when you talk about the flight that that ball took, just unbelievable.
The old Tiger Stadium hit the transformer on the roof.
Now, Reggie did spend 1 year in Baltimore with the Orioles before he came to the Yankees. That was his first year of free agency. Became a free agent, signed with the Yankees. And, Jack, when you get a chance, ask Reggie about a home run he hit off of Terry Forster in Chicago with the bases like pinch hit grand slam. I was on third base. This is one of the longest home runs I'd ever seen. And Reggie didn't want to hit because Forster was a tough left-handed pitcher. Earl Weaver calls upon him. Reggie was sitting at the far end of the dugout, hoping Earl didn't see him. Set him up there, and he hit one in the upper deck at Old Comiskey that just took off like a jet out of O'Hare. And I was on third base, so I had a good look at it. That was one of the most impressive home runs I've ever seen.
1-2. Strike 3. Connor Jackson down looking. 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's a 1-1 game right here on Yes. 4 players who won the MVP award with the A's at one time in their careers played for the Yankees. Who were those players? Well, one's Giambi.
Jose Canseco, Reggie Jackson, and how about Ricky Henderson? Yeah.
There you go. So we put that question up in the top of the inning, right? And I get a text from O'Neill. I got this one, exclamation point. So I said, no way. And he quickly changes. Okay, at least 2. Here's Cano. Pitches low. Now, I don't know if you know this, Kenny.
Yeah.
But Jack also has a degree in meteorology from Fordham. So he's going to tell us about the weather this weekend in Baltimore.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I asked Joe Girardi about referring to the weather.
Was this your major or your minor? That's what.
You know what? For the first couple of years, the classes today, I didn't do too well, so I had to drop it. No, I asked Joe Girardi about Baltimore, and he told me something that is a possibility for happening. I asked about the weather in Baltimore, and he said he wondered.
Cano rips one into right center field. It splits the outfielders and it goes to the wall for Cano, a 15-game hitting streak.
Before we get to the weather report, we should show Cano's swing. And I don't know about you guys, but this is one of the best swings in baseball. He was out here early today working with Kevin Long on his speed drill, pulling the ball, using his hands, trusting his hands, and that is a perfect. I mean, Kevin Long's got to be smiling from ear to ear when he sees this. And he doesn't see it on Yesmo. He saw it firsthand. Beautiful swing, follow through, and yet another double.
And Kenny, you know what stood out about that drill today? We know he does it often. Today he actually had spectators in the opposing dugout. There were A's players who were watching Robinson Cano do that home run drill, and I think even they were amazed because it just looked like a guy swinging a wiffle ball bat, just hitting the ball over the fence in the backyard. Just clean, easy swings.
And there were some fans out in right field, and they gave him an ovation when he left because he hit about 100 balls up there.
Count 1-0 to Swisher.
All right, back to the weather real quickly, Michael. When I asked Joe about Baltimore, he said he wondered if, since the forecast is so bleak for Saturday, is there any chance they'll bump things up and try and squeeze in a doubleheader on Friday? And I said, have you heard that? Is that something that is in the offing? He said, I'm just wondering if that's something that we'll do. So I've made a couple calls on that and haven't heard anything back yet in a concrete fashion. But it does make sense. If it's going to be that bad on Saturday and you could get 2 in on Friday, you'd get a step ahead of things. The other thing I asked him was, with CC pitching tonight, will he stay in regular rotation and pitch on the exact rest so that he would go again on Monday? And Joe said probably. And I said, well, that will mean he'll miss the Red Sox series. He said, yeah, but that's the way we're looking right now. He said, don't write it in pen, but that's the way things are looking.
Now the question, though, is if the 5 games in Baltimore turn out to be 4, does CC then start the Tuesday against Boston, or does he keep him on the Monday game?
That's why I asked that question. And he said right now he believes CC would be in rotation to pitch on Monday. And then I think because of all the weather issues that might come about, he said, all right, well, don't write it in pen, don't say it's concrete, but I think they'd like to keep CC on 5 days.
Now they might have to, if Sunday also is a bad forecast, if those games get rained out, they're going to have to play a doubleheader on Monday. So he'll definitely pitch one of them. And Nick Swisher walks for the second. Well, he was hit by a pitch his first time, so he's on base for the second time. And the Yankees threatening first and second, nobody out.
CC's career record against Baltimore is pretty exemplary. You know, for him to miss the Orioles.
I just wondered, though. I mean, all games count, but if the Yankees have one black mark against them this year, although they've had a great year, they've lost 10 out of 12 to the Red Sox, and CC hasn't been able to beat them. Don't you want him to get
CC's
that out of the way?
0 for 4, right?
Yeah.
That's his blemish. That's why I asked the question, because I'm with you guys. I'm thinking, do you want CC to face these guys in August? And CC Sabathia believes he can beat the Red Sox. I'm sure he does. It just hasn't happened this year. Does he need that in his head moving forward to at least get it done once in the regular season?
Pitch to Posadas, a strike. By the way, he is 16-2 lifetime against Baltimore.
If you don't believe you can beat a team, you shouldn't go out there to begin with.
Posadas struck out looking. Inside pitch in the second inning. There's a strike. Suzuki keeps it in front of him. Nice play.
There's a couple of nice plays he's made behind the plate tonight to avoid wild pitches. And you can see why Tony Pena gives him an endorsement. This was a tough one. High hop off the chest protector. And the ball does not reach the grass. Well, however you look at it, you're going to have to bring an umbrella to Baltimore, Michael. And probably a pretty strong one, too.
Slow roller. It's as good as a bunt as Posada is gunned down at first. Score that 2-3 and the runners move up.
Kind of a check swing, and Posada looked more like a cricket player on that one and just rolled it out there. Suzuki pounces on it, throws it to first for the out, and runners move up, as Michael called it. Here it is in Yesmo. You can actually read Bud Selig's signature there. Commissioner autographs every ball. It's a stamp. You know, it's a machine does it. He doesn't autograph every ball.
Did you see Bud Selig or Alan H. Bud Selig? I thought I saw Alan H. Bud Selig.
Alan H. Yes.
Selig, I'm saying. Siegel.
Infield is in. Fourth inning, infield in with runners on second and third. A lot of teams are loath to do that because they feel if a ball squeaks through, it's 2 runs rather than just 1. And if you play the infield back and you get the out, okay, it's 2-1 Yankees, but there's 2 outs. Bob Melvin electing to bring in the infield.
And Cahill, Michael, is a guy who gives up a lot of ground balls. 56% of the balls that are put in play against him are ground balls. So you're right. Nunez could just direct the ball that might be a normal 6-3 with the infield back, but in this situation, obviously, he's a much better, much more dangerous hitter.
There's another feeling about bringing the infield in, particularly with a hitter at the plate who can steal second. You know, he gets on a cheap hit, and he continues when he steals second base.
Now, Nunez has 26 ribbies this year, and he's not getting one there. That was a fair ball. He stayed there, and he was tagged out by Suzuki. And now Joe Girardi's going to talk things over with Carey Blazer. And Nunez is saying it was behind home plate.
Even if it's behind, if it rolls back into fair territory, he's out. The only way he gets out of this is if the ball actually hits him. And you can see it was on home plate. It rolls into fair territory. That's a fair ball. Once it gets in between these 2 lines, it's a fair ball. And Suzuki doesn't see it right away. Then he realized, hey, it's out in front of the plate. Let me pick it up, tag him. Blazer says it's a fair ball, and Nunez is out.
Here's Francisco Cervelli. Francisco, just a different hitter. He changes his swing a bit when there's runners on base. He hits .324 with runners in scoring position. 12 hits and 37 at bats. And he's 11 for his last 28. He's done a nice job. And this isn't a fluke 1-year thing. He's a .322 hitter lifetime with runners in scoring position. And with 2 outs, we're going to throw numbers at you. 2 outs and runners in scoring position, .455.
You should go up there thinking there's runners in scoring position every time.
One and two.
One of the few change-ups that Cahill has used tonight. He picks up a second strike in a key situation.
Bottom of the 5th inning in Texas. Boston leads 5-0. Boston and the Yankees tied atop the East, but the Yankees a game ahead in the loss column. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Another changeup. So Cahill gets out of trouble. We thank Jack Curry. We'll hear from him in the postgame show. Yankees strand 2. It's 1-1 as we go to the 5th.
All game long on Twitter by using the hashtag YesNetwork. 1-1 ball game. Middle game of the 3-game series between the Yankees and the A's. Bottom third of the order for the Oakland A's to face CC Sabathia. Thus far has allowed 1 run on 2 hits on our Kia scoreboard. We are in the top of the 5th. Kurt Suzuki's going to lead it off. And Cliff Pennington and Scott Sizemore. Breaking ball from CC is in there for a call. Strike 1. Suzuki, 12 home runs. That ties his career high. He had 12 last year. But he's hitting just .232. And it's a ball and a strike.
1-1 game. Bottom third of the order. Suzuki, Pennington, and Sizemore against Sabathia. Good story in the New York Times today. I believe Tyler Kepner wrote it about Billy Beane. And Billy Beane, with a very low payroll in the early part of this decade, was able to get his team into the playoffs 3 years in a row because they had identified undervalued performers. Guys who had high on-base percentages, guys who hit home runs. And they were able to get those players at a low price. But then Moneyball was written by Michael Lewis, which is going to be a movie coming out in September where Billy Beane gets played by Brad Pitt. And once Moneyball hit, it's not as if baseball wouldn't have figured out, but everybody knew the secret. And those undervalued players all of a sudden weren't undervalued as Derek Jeter puts away the line drive. And right now, if you read the story, it's interesting. Billy Beane sounds almost defeated. He said now the big market teams with all the money have guys that are very smart, and they have identified that, and they've identified the value of draft picks. He said, we can't get that stuff on the cheap anymore. We've got to come up with a better way. And, you know, is there a better way?
Well, they're doing a better job of crunching the numbers. Speaking of the bigger market ball clubs.
And it's also kind of funny, when Moneyball came out, and it was a big deal about on-base percentage. The Yankees had been doing that when Gene Michael rebuilt the team. Yeah. He identified that's what he wanted in a player, a guy that could take pitches, work the count, and get on base. But there wasn't a book written about it. But once the book came out, the secret was out.
That's one reason why they went out and got Nick Swisher.
Yep.
And they got him on the cheap.
And one of the reasons that they signed Wade Boggs way back when, because he was a guy who took pitches and worked the count.
Nick Swisher for Wilson Betemit.
The 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Pennington out, tagged out by Cervelli. 2 down.
Bob Melvin doesn't agree, but it's the 7th strikeout for CC Sabathia. Just gave Pennington a hang with him. Let's take a look. Let's go to the videotape, as Warner Wolf would say. You know what? I don't think he went. This would be the definitive angle.
No, I don't think he did either.
Yeah, but I think he held up.
You know what's strange with all the video highlights at Sports Center now, we just take it for granted. But when Warner Wolf was doing it, that was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
You had to tune in to see the video highlights. Let's go to the videotape.
That's what you wanted to hear. You knew what was going to happen next.
The 0-1. Fouled away. Now, I said earlier about the lookalike. I think I nailed this one. Same chin, same glasses, same nose. Saget and Melvin. The 0-2. Imagine Bob Saget is in a restaurant with games on. He walks by, he sees his picture. He has no idea what it's about.
Oh, my goodness.
And the 1-2. Foul back. Sabathia gave up a run with 1 out in the first inning, and since then he has settled down, ran into some trouble in the third. First and second, but got Matsui to ground out to second with 2 outs and worked a 1-2-3 fourth, and now the first 2 batters here in the 5th.
The only 2 runners have reached base since the home run by Coco Crisp in the first inning.
The 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch. A base hit to right field for Sizemore. He's 2 for 2 against CC.
Yeah, Sizemore's been wearing out left-handers this year. We saw him come off the bench last night and get a hit off Boone Logan. And now 2 hits off CC Sabathia tonight. This one goes to that. He kind of fought this one off. I don't know if he saved the bat, but he picked up a base hit. Here it is in Yesmo. Kind of try and keep those hands inside the ball, and he does.
So he's on first, and here is Jamal Weeks. Weeks was 0 for 5 last night. Sizemore goes. Throw to second. Got him. Good throw by Cervelli. Good tag by Cano. End of the inning as the A's go down. Sizemore took off first pitch, but Cervelli actually threw a bullet and got him. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Well, it's a good one, too. The question, which of these former Yankees has surprised you the most this season? You've been texting us at 58772, and here's how you voted. Close voting. Ian Kennedy wins with Lance Berkman second. Then Melky, Farnsworth, and Clippard. Here's Gardner. And a bunt. Foul ball.
You know, Michael, we've seen another number of home runs in this series as Gardner tries to lay down a bunt. Now, the interesting thing about these home runs being hit, the A's have allowed the fewest home runs in the league. They play in a pretty tough park in Oakland to hit home runs, particularly in night games. The ball doesn't carry. But they've always talked about the number of home runs hit here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees have hit have allowed the second fewest home runs in the league. Just 104. The A's have allowed 93. The Yankees have allowed 105 now. CC gave one up tonight. But still just second in the league in home runs allowed.
And half their games here.
Yeah.
The 0-1. 1-1. On the Kia scoreboard, it's 1-1. Same as the count. Slap the other way. Gardner's been in a little bit of a slump. He's 1 for 2 tonight, but came into this game hitless in his last 10 at-bats and 2 for 25.
Yeah, well, Cano was working on his speed drill with his hands, and we saw it pay off. Gardner was out here taking a little batting practice, but he also worked on his bunting. This is about 3:30 this afternoon.
One, 2. 2-2. Cahill has pitched much better tonight than he's ever pitched against the Yankees. They've left runners on, which is what they did yesterday as well. But he has certainly gotten tough when guys got on base. Strike 3, Gardner down looking. That's been an effective pitch for Cahill. He struck out Posada on that.
Strikeout number 5, and once again the spillover. We've seen Bartolo Colon use it very effectively during the course of the season. And you can see it just come back and just clip the inside corner. That's what the pitcher's looking for.
Derek Jeter 2 for 2. His average at 299. What a climb it's been for him since coming off the DL. Been one of the game's hottest hitters. Count 1-1. Check that out. 12 games hitting .521. That's how you make great leaps batting average wise. Grounded foul. The last time he was at 300 this year, you have to go back to April 2nd. He started the season 2 for 6. That put him at 333.
Now, the thing about it, getting to 300 is not enough, if you ask me. You want to get up there around 309, 310. Give yourself a little cushion so you don't have to worry about dropping below it on a nightly basis.
Because you can't stay this hot the entire year.
You got to get a little cushion over 300.
Swing and a miss. Jeter down on strikes.
Sweeping breaking ball just out of the zone. And Jeter could not reach it. .300 is going to have to wait.
There's Granderson. Curtis has 7 home runs in his last 13 games. His 35th home run was an inside the Parker. Goes around. Count 1-1.
That breaking ball's been very effective to Curtis the last couple of nights here. We've seen a lot of breaking balls from the A's to Curtis Granderson. Last night, Brandon McCarthy featured a very good breaking ball, and so has Cahill tonight.
1-2. Still 1-2.
Kind of resurgence under Bob Melvin. Michael told you they're 19-17 since the All-Star break. But still well out of it in the Western Division. A's are 15 games behind the front-running Texas Rangers.
9 games under with Guerin, 3 games over with Melvin. 3 games under with Melvin, I'm sorry. So that's just a better shade of bad.
Well, closer to being mediocre.
Right. 2-2. Off it to left field. Matsui will put it away to end the 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 6th. Yankees won and the A's won right here on Yes. Today and got themselves a Ford Focus 2012. Derek Jeter gave the winner the keys and then he signed the dashboard. The winner was Sonora Baker. 2012 Yankees edition Ford Focus. How about that? Congratulations. Good stuff. Jamal Weeks was up when Scott Sizemore got gunned down at second, so up again and the count 1-0. Weeks flied out to left and flied out to right. Driven out into right center field. Long run for Granderson. He's not going to get there, and it goes up against the wall. Weeks is thinking 3. There he goes. The throw from Cano. Got him. Oh, what a throw by Robinson Cano.
Well, you can see why teams practice the relays during the course of spring training over and over and over again. Outfielders get tired of chasing balls in the gaps that are hit by the coaches, but this is why they do it. Here's the throw to Cano. Watch how quickly and accurately he gets through to this throw. And Weeks is out at third base. Watch the hand. Does he get in there?
I think he got him.
He's out.
By an eyelash.
By an eyelash. Weeks leads all rookies in triples with 8. He was going for number 9 and didn't quite make it. And here's the reason why. Cano delivers a strike to Nunez, who applies the tag for the out. And that's the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer, who's in charge of making the call.
You know why he's able to do that, Kenny? He doesn't have to wind up.
Yes.
He throws a clothesline.
You are so right. You are so right. It's like the double play ball that he turns at second. Wow.
What a good player. He just can do it all. The 2-0. It's high 3-0.
Here's another look at the tag. Nunez gets it down just ahead of the arm.
He's just out there chewing gum, blowing bubbles.
And making
15-game hitting streak, making plays. Not too bad. (3-1) to Crisp. Grounded past a lunging Nunez into left field, a base hit. So Crisp is 2 for 2. Well, that relay, that's all about partnership, which makes it time for the GE Capital Partner Play. Great partnerships are built on trust in GE Capital. We prove that every day.
Well, Granderson came close to hauling this in. It would have been a great catch, but just out of his reach. And then he gets to it quickly, gets it to the Cano quickly, and even more quickly to Nunez, who applies the quick tag to Weeks.
You know what's amazing about that? That was by an eyelash. He just got his arm as the fingers were touching third base, and Mike Gallego, the third base coach, never argued, and neither did Weeks. Matsui grounds one to Teixeira. There's one. Back to first. Double play. A 3-6-3 double play to end the inning. So the Yankees flashing the leather here in the 6th. No runs, 2 hits, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 1-1. Local Nissan dealer. It's a 1-1 game. A's with 5 hits, Yankees with 4. Crisp a solo home run with 1 out in the first. Jeter 2 for 3, drove in the Yankees only run. Sabathia has gone 6, allowed 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He's thrown 84 pitches. Mark Teixeira will lead off here against Cahill in the bottom of the 6th, and the first pitch is low, 1-0. And it played beautifully. That's the shortstop, Pennington, and he gets Teixeira for the first out.
The A's, like many of the teams in the league, employ the shift whenever Teixeira comes to the plate.
Nice sized crowd here at the stadium on a Wednesday evening. Remember, tomorrow's a day game. So first pitch is right around 107. Make sure you tune to yes for that game. All the coverage, by the way, begins at noon with a batting practice show, and 12:30 is the pregame. And Kenny and I are here with first pitch at 107. Cano swings at the first pitch and grounds it to Weeks. 2 outs. Going to bring up Nick Swisher. Nick Swisher revealed the other day that he is going on a honeymoon with his wife Joanna Garcia. They were busy when they got married over the winter. They were not able to get away. But when the season's over, he and Joanna have decided to honeymoon in Afghanistan because he wants to be able to visit the troops. And she's all for it, and they're going to make that their honeymoon. And he had a great line. He said, no matter what you think about our involvement here, there, or anywhere, he said, the men and women of this country put their lives on the line. He said, and they deserve to have people visit them and say hello. Count 1-1.
Noble gesture by he and Joanna. I'm sure they'll be happy to see both of them.
That one's driven out to left center field and deep. Giving chase Chris. He's on the run, on the track. See ya! An opposite field home run for Nick Swisher. And the Yankees take a 2-1 lead.
Well, Nick just missed being the hero last night. This could be the difference in the game tonight, the way these pitchers are going up and out over the plate. Hit well towards the A's bullpen, and that's where it's going to end up. Swisher's 17th of the year, and it gives the Yankees a 2-1 lead, a 2-out shot here in the 6th inning. And his 5th home run against Oakland this year.
'17 home run for Nick. Now 71 runs batted in. And that's going to bring up Posada. Take a look at that swing with the Coors Light freeze cam.
You can see that sinker was not sinking. That one was about belt high.
Fouled away.
That was a long shot to the opposite field.
He swung the bat well. He hit that 3-run home run yesterday. Almost won the game. And showing power the other way. Really good power to hit it that far the opposite field. He's got 17 homers, and he had just 3 through the first 2 months of the season. So he has really climbed out of a hole. One. 2-1.
Back when he was with the Oakland A's, Swisher had a career-high 35 home runs. That was in 2006. And as we told you, Oakland's not the easiest ballpark to hit home runs in.
He likes hitting against his former team. Two. Grounded to Weeks. Makes the play at first, and that will do it. 3 ground balls to Weeks, but in the middle of all that, Nick Swisher decides to go the other way. Crushes it into the A's bullpen, into the night, and into a 2-1 lead for the Yankees. Brought to you by our good friends at McDonald's. Jamal Weeks 1 for 3 with a double. Tried to stretch it to a triple. Great play by Cano. Coco Crispy on the offense for the A's. 2 for 2. A home run in the first inning. Now, Sizemore has 2 hits as well. But boy, from 3 to 8, CeCe's getting it done. Nick Swisher got it done with a 2-out solo home run in the 6th to give the Yankees a 2-1 lead. And Sabathia deals to Willingham. High. Cadillac scoreboard shows us it's 2-1 Yanks. Each team with 5 hits. The 1-0. 1-1.
As usual, when Swisher does something to help the Yankee cause, when he goes out to his position in right field, the fans out there salute him. Nice round of applause for the Yankee right fielder. They got his back.
High fly ball right field. Swisher puts it away. There's Brendan Allen.
Now, Allen has been kind of feast or famine here in New York. He's got 2 home runs coming in last night's ball game, but every other time up the plate he has struck out swinging.
This guy's making $10-12 million doing that.
More than that.
Adam Dunn comes to mind. The 0-1. Lofted to left center. Granderson makes the play for the second out. Hey, come out to the stadium tomorrow for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the A's. The first 10,000 guests 14 and younger are going to receive a limited edition Yankee Stadium exclusive tie beanie balls named Dinger. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Two outs. Here's Connor Jackson. Line drive right at Cano. 6-pitch inning for CC Sabathia as he retires the A's in order. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch at the stadium. Yankees lead the A's 2-1, but we are going to stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
For a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
In-game box score brought to you by McDonald's. On the top is Brett Gardner, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Derek Jeter, 2 for 3 with an RBI. And Nick Swisher has been hit by a pitch, drawn a walk, and hit the home run last inning to put the Yankees in the lead.
Yankees looking for more here in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Nunez, Cervelli, and Gardner on the Cadillac scoreboard. 2-5-0 Yanks, 1-5-0 A's. Nunez grounds one past a diving Sizemore. Off the sidewall, played out there by Matsui, and Nunez will be in there with a double.
Well, Cahill's done a pretty good job of keeping the ball on the ground tonight, but this pitch was up, and we know that Nunez, anytime you get one around a belt or higher, usually puts a pretty good swing on it. Just over the corner of the bag. Sizemore couldn't even reach out with the glove to try and slow it down. And Nunez, with his speed, has an easy 2-base hit to get things started for the Yankees here in the 7th.
Cervelli, a pretty good bunter. You would assume that he is going to bunt to try to get Nunez over to third. Brian Fuentes, one of the 3 lefties for the A's. He's up in their bullpen. We've got Gardner due up next. And it is a beautiful bunt. They only have one play at first, and they can't make it. So Nunez moves to third. Yankees have runners on the corners. Once you bunt it to third, you've done your job. There's nobody covering third. Now Bob Melvin is probably going to call for Fuentes. They gave a base hit to Cervelli. I thought he'd have a sack and an E, but a base hit for Cervelli, so why not smile? And with Fuentes warming and Gardner coming up, they're going to take the ball from Cahill. Yankees lead 2-1. They are looking for more. And here's how Cervelli got on to knock out Cahill. Our music and computer world, and by Toyota, the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. Bob Melvin makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT NYA. And he's going to call on Brian Fuentes.
Veteran left-hander reliever who's making his 57th appearance of the year. You can see his record overall, 2-8, 4.07. Over the years, he's been a much better pitcher than that. And lately, he's been showing his prior form. He's allowed just 2 earned runs in 16 1/3 innings over his past 18 appearances. Now you talk about slinging the ball. We were talking about that earlier. That's just Fuentes' style. Makes it tougher for left-handed hitters to get to him.
Trevor Cahill had his sinker ball working tonight. They pitched much better than he has in the past against the Yankees. In fact, there were only 2 fly ball outs against them. Matsui had a reception in the 5th inning. And Coco Crisp ran one down in the 3rd inning off the bat of Nunez.
Well, Gardner's 0 for 2 against Fuentes in the regular season, and he's 0 for 5 if you include postseason play. Yankees looking to extend their 2-1 lead. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fuentes deals outside. In 10 career appearances against the Yankees, Fuentes has pitched to a 2.25 ERA. Speedy Nunez is at 3rd, and Cervelli is at 1st. 2-0. The 2-0 popped up. Just what Fuentes needed as Sizemore puts it away. 1 down. That's going to bring up Derek Jeter. Derek is 2 for 3 tonight. You can see that Gardner really beating himself up. 2-0 pitch, he pops up. Derek had an infield single, slow roller towards second in the first, and then he drove in the Yankees' first run, single to center in the third, then struck out in the fifth against Cahill. He's at 298. Sizemore's playing back. Didn't put it past Jeter to bunt. Way outside. Good combination with the speedy Nunez on third, but Jeter's been swinging so well, and they already have the lead, probably looking for more.
Speaking of speed, Cervelli is 4-0 in stolen base attempts this year. The Yankee catchers are 12-1 if you count Russell Martin's attempts.
Count 2-0. Jeter just mashes lefties, 359.
And even when, early in the season when he wasn't hitting well, he was hitting well against left-handers.
Off-speed pitch, Jeter way out in front, 2-1.
.70 miles per hour, and I don't think that was a strike.
The pitch, driven the other way. Nunez at third, Cervelli is at first, 2-2 count. Jeter at the plate and Granderson on deck.
Situations where we talk about tacking on in the late innings. Give your pitchers a bit more wriggle room as you get down towards the latter stages of the game.
Two. Yeah. 3-2. Would the Yankees send Cervelli here with 3-2 and 1 out? Cahill, a very interested spectator.
Well, the whole idea is for Jeter to put the ball in play with Cervelli on the move. Fuentes has yet to throw over the first base with Cervelli over there.
Now he does.
Yep, he knows the count's 3-2. I think he's going.
Foul back.
Now he did go. One reason I thought he should be going on the move. Even if the throw gets to second before he does, he should hold up and maybe Nunez have a chance to score from third. You're looking for a guy at third base to have good speed, and Nunez does. Plus, if Jeter hits the ball on the ground, you stay out of the double play.
Lined right at Weeks. Boy, that ball came back on him, kind of knuckled. And Weeks puts it away for the second out.
Sounded like Jeter broke his bat. It must have been an off-speed pitch, and he was out in front. Yep, right off the end. And kind of a weird spin on it as Weeks hauls it in. There's the play. No play at first. Good read by Cervelli.
That'll bring up Granderson. Granderson has walked, and he's 0 for 2. Fuentes trying to wiggle out of this jam. Inherited first and third, no outs. Now it's first and third, 2 outs. Missed outside. High fly ball. Right center. Chris is there. And puts it away for the final out. Outstanding job by Brian Fuentes. Get out of a first and third. Nobody out jammed. Pretty good souvenir for a fan. A bat from Derek Jeter. He didn't like what he did with it. Gives it away. Or you could vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, CC Sabathia, number 2, Nick Swisher, number 3, Coco Crisp, and number 4, Derek Sanderson Jeter. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. 14 pitches over the last 2 innings for Sabathia. So he's being economical. Now he will work the bottom of the order, starting with Kurt Suzuki. Pitches outside 1-0. Hyundai scoreboard shows the Yankees up 2-1. Missed outside. 2-0. David Robertson, the 8th inning guy. There's a strike, but when your ace has a total of 93 pitches, you let him pitch the 8th. Line drive, a base hit. So Suzuki is 1 for 3. You got to stick around after the last out for the WB Mason postgame. You can join Bob Lorenz, who's back in the studio, for highlights and analysis from this game, including a look around the rest of baseball. Plus, Jack Curry will get the clubhouse reaction. It's all coming up after the last out on the WB Mason postgame, only on Yes. There's Cliff Pennington. Usually don't play for a tie on the road. He's 1 for 10 lifetime against CC, and he shows bunt and takes pitch inside.
Well, Sizemore on deck is 2 for 2 with a double and a single, and he's hit well against lefties all season long. Maybe that's why Bob Melvin had Pennington thinking sacrifice bunt. Pennington leads the A's in sacrifices with 7. So he's a good bunter.
Now it's 2-0.
Not only does Pennington lead the A's in sacrifice bunts, he also leads them in sacrifice flies. It's Faustino de los Santos warming up in the bullpen.
And he bunts. Sabathia fields, fires to Cano, so the sacrifice is successful, 1-4. Tying runs at second. And with Sizemore up and his success against lefties, looks like Joe Girardi is coming to get CeCe. He looked over his right shoulder. He couldn't believe it. He's still looking over his right shoulder. And now he's a little bit relieved, but not taken out for what it is.
Well, a quick reminder, this guy is 2 for 2. Probably just check, see how he was doing.
Swing and a miss.
Nasty slider. Watch this disappear low and inside.
The 0-1. There's a strike.
And that one planted on the back door. First one was in, second one out.
That one is hammered down the left field line. It is a base hit into the corner that will tie the game. Suzuki scores. Sizemore with his 3rd hit. It's an RBI double. It's a 2-2 game.
I think it was another breaking ball, and when you've thrown that many in a row, the last one has to be better than the first 2. And I believe the 3rd one was the worst one that he threw to Sizemore.
Well, Girardi will take the ball from Sabathia. He's going to call on David Robertson. Sabathia had to get out Sizemore. He couldn't the previous 2 times, and he couldn't this time. A hammered double into the left field corner. then when the A's coverage starts at noon with Audi batting practice today, and then the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then Kenny and I are back in the booth with the call. A's Yankees, it all starts tomorrow at noon, and it's only on Yes. So Sabathia gives up that game-tying double with Sizemore. Sizemore now 6 for 10 lifetime against CC, 3 for 3 tonight. So they turn to David Robertson to strand that runner at second with one out. The numbers on Robertson are exemplary. 33 hits, 27 walks. He'd like to lower the walk total, but 76 strikeouts and 50 2/3.
A couple of switch hitters at the top of the order for Bob Melvin. Ricky Weeks, say Jamal Week, jumps over the other side of the plate. Same thing for Coco Crisp, who's next. Ricky, of course, is Jamal's brother.
Sizemore's at second. Now there was a book about the Chicago Bulls, and it was called The Jordan Rules, and it pretty much said that you manage great players differently or coach great players differently than you do other ones. Any other starter on the Yankees is not facing Sizemore there, but Girardi, knowing that that's his horse on the mound and he deserved the right to get out of the jam, he let Sabathia deal with Sizemore, and it didn't work this time.
Well, he got to an 0-2 count, and then the third breaking ball was not as good as the previous two. And of course, when you're a hitter, you recognize the pitch coming a lot faster when you've seen it a few more times.
Count 3-1 to Weeks.
The best breaking ball he threw him was the first one, down and into Sizemore. He swung over the top. The second was a back door, hit the outside corner, different location. And the third one to me looked like it was right down the middle.
One is not made as Robertson chases Sizemore back.
You know, sometimes it's not so much to try and pick him off, it's just to shorten his lead in case there's a base hit. Might give the outfielders a better chance to throw him out at the plate.
And Weeks walks. The only blemish on the landscape of David Robertson is the walk, but he usually gets out of it. Crisp 2 for 2 against Sabathia, 2 for 4 lifetime against David Robertson. Is that breaking ball strike?
Crisp has been a much better hitter against right-handed pitching this year. Although tonight he's hit a home run and a single batting right-handed.
That one is past Cano into center field. Sizemore scores. Weeks stops at second. RBI single for Crisp, who's 3 for 3, and the A's now lead 3-2.
Coco's had a big night. Even on a broken bat single, he's able to sneak one through the infield and pick up a base hit. All kind of sliding away from Robertson Cano's chance to come up with it. I don't think they would have gotten a double play. Crisp is too fast. But he's had himself a good night.
And here's Matsui. Missed outside with the fastball. Yankees were leading 2-1, and the way Sabathia was pitching had the feel of a blowout. That you didn't think the A's were going to rouse from their slumber, but they certainly have here in the 8th inning to score 2 runs. Count 2-0.
Well, CC had 7 strikeouts through the first 5 innings and seemed to be cruising. The only blemish was the home run by Crisp in the first. But then after that, things began to change a little bit. He got a great play from Cano to throw out Weeks. That was followed by a single, then a double play. He had a routine 1-2-3 7th inning. But then things started to unravel here in the 8th.
There's a strike. The 2-1. Now 3-1. The 3-1 to Matsui. There's a strike. It's a high call there, does Robertson. The good speed on the bases does Melvin send Weeks and Crisp. Runners go. Ball served the other way, foul.
The whole idea is have the runners moving, stay out of double play, and give Willingham a chance to hit in the inning. His cleanup man, his leading RBI man. But even if Matsui strikes out or the runners advance and there's a base open, you have a feeling that Willingham, he might be passed in favor of Allen, who is a less experienced hitter. Although Allen's a left-handed hitter.
Runners go. Served up the middle and grabbed there by Jeter. He's going to have a double play. He'll tag out Crisp. Actually stepped on the bag to get the double play on Weeks, and that will do it. But the A's take the lead. 2 runs on 4 hits. No errors, and because of this double play, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. back on the Hyundai scoreboard. They're trailing 3-2. Pitcher of record on the losing side is CC. And right now the pitcher of record on the winning side is Brian Fuentes. Did such a good job in the 7th inning to strand 2 runners. Coco Crisp with the big hit, the big night for him. And the A's will bring on Grant Balfour to pitch the 8th.
Now we saw Balfour in last night's ball game. This is going to be his 52nd appearance. He just threw 1/3 of an inning. Faced one man, got him out. And he has been doing an excellent job for these A's. He and Andrew Bailey have been a pretty good 1-2 punch, although Bailey did struggle somewhat last night in picking up his 17th save.
Teixeira, Cano, Swisher here in the 8th. Red Sox beating up on the Rangers 11-1, top of the 7th inning in Texas. And Detroit and Tampa Bay, they're tied 2-2. I think it's the bottom of the 8th. Yes, it is the bottom of the 8th. Rafael Soriano warming for the Yanks. One and one.
Give an example of how well Balfour has pitched lately. His last 28 games. It's going back to May 28th. His earned run average stands at 0.95. He's been a good signing. He spirited him away from the Tampa Bay Rays.
The whole bullpen left the Rays, and somehow they've survived. Two-one. 3-1. They have the shift on for Teixeira. 3 infielders on the right side with Weeks playing a shallow right field. That one is driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Tie game. A long home run for Teixeira, his 35th of the year.
Well, all good things must come to an end if you're Grant Balfour. He had not allowed a run in his last 6 appearances. That ends on a 3-1 pitch to Mark Teixeira. Target's low and away. Teixeira goes out and gets it. Number 35 on the season. He knows where it's going. That's headed for the bleacher creatures. It had that unmistakable sound of a well-hit baseball.
Pitch outside to Cano. So that gets CC off the hook. Balfour allows just his 2nd home run since May 26th. 2-0. Now Teixeira ties his teammate Curtis Granderson for 2nd place. Jose Bautista leads the majors with 37.
Bautista's 37th came today. It's going to be quite a race. By the way, Teixeira's home run high, his career high in a season, is 43. He did that back with the Texas Rangers in 2005. I think that's in jeopardy this year.
And now Mariano gets up in case the Yankees take the lead.
Mel was thinking back to back.
Three for 6 against Balfour. Popped up. Shallow center. Pennington makes the play for the first time. In that big 05 campaign that Kenny talked about, Teixeira had 32 home runs on this date.
So he's ahead of his personal pace. The home runs continue to fly from the two teams that have allowed the fewest in the league, the A's and the Yankees. You make a mistake, you pay.
Here's Swisher. He made Cahill pay in the 6th with an opposite field home run. Going for the downs there, count 0-2. Foul tip and held on to by Suzuki for the second out.
Yeah, you can see Balfour's a little upset with himself. The home run to Teixeira, but he pitched Swisher very tough. Fastball on the outside corner. All you can expect to do is foul it off. Swisher did get a piece of it, but it was held on to by Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, for the strikeout.
Here's Posada. Look at the numbers against Balfour. 4 for 5 with a home run. Count 1-0. Count 2-0. Is a count where a hitter can sit on a pitch. That was not the pitch. Strike one. Count 3-1.
Balfour, Rafael Soriano were an imposing duo last year for Tampa Bay.
Served the other way, a base hit for Posada. And they will pinch hit for Posada, or pinch run for Posada with Andrew Jones.
Outer third, good hitting by Posada. He tries to pull it, maybe it's a ground ball to second. Instead, it's a line drive into left field for a hit.
Yankees could have sent up Chavez here, but they're electing to stay with Nunez, who is 1 for 3. Count 1-0.
Watching Balfour's fastball, he's got a good one. It's kind of straight, and in this inning, it's been up somewhat. That's what Nunez likes. The A's outfielders are deep. They don't want a ball to go over their heads.
slow roller going to be a very tough play. Pennington charges, and he has no play. An infield single for Nunez, and that puts the go-ahead run at second base. Well, we talked about you could have pinch hit Chavez for Nunez, but now they're pinch hitting Chavez for Cervelli.
Once it gets by Balfour, there's no play for Pennington. In fact, he's going to look back at second to see if Jones rounds too far. Like a little slider. Nunez can really fly. Gets down the line, has his second hit of the night. Started out 0 for 2, now is 2 for 4.
So Chavez will pinch hit for Cervelli. A couple of hits last night.
Now the A's outfielders come in because they need a play at the plate on a base hit. Shows you how defensively outfielders just don't stand out there. They have to move around according to the situation.
There's a strike. 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th. Jones at second, pitch running for Posada. Nunez is at first. Lined right at Sizemore. So Chavez hit it hard, but lined it right at the third baseman. Well, the Yankees are going to win tonight. There's going to be pie involved, but they do tie the score. A leadoff home run here in the 8th inning by Mark Teixeira. His 35th of the year. 3-3. We go to the 9th. New catcher, and that's Russell Martin. Remember, Cervelli had gotten pinch hit for by Chavez. And they bring in the pitcher, Mariano Rivera. Now, tie game at home, you usually bring in your closer in the 9th, and you see the numbers on Mo. He's not as effective. It's not that he's ineffective. He's not as effective in non-save situations. A 2.45 ERA in these situations, 2.19 in save situations. You could have gone with Soriano, but the thinking is you'll never use your closer if you're tied after 8 innings at home, because they'd never be a save situation. If you win the game, it has to be a walk-off situation.
And he's supposed to be your best guy out there, so you bring him in at least for an inning to hold the opposition at bay.
Willingham starts it off. There's a strike. Hammered foul. The little guy's happy. Fired up. Tie game, 9th inning. He gets a ball. Ball's good. The 0-2. Missed outside with the cutter.
Looking on deck, and there's Brandon Allen. Now here's the guy who's just recently called up to the major leagues. I wonder what he's thinking now. Here's my chance. I've watched this guy, greatest closer of all time, and I'm going to get an opportunity.
Willingham swings and misses, one away.
And just see the guy up front of you strike out. Target's low and away, and the pitch is right to the glove. Martin could have been blindfolded and caught this one. There it is on Yesmo. Perfect strike from Mariano Rivera. A swing and a miss.
Here is Brandon Allen. Did you say how old Brandon was?
No, I didn't.
I think he's 24.
24.
So he could have been watching Mariano as an 8-year-old. He's 25, so as a 9-year-old. Mariano's been going at it for 16 years. And here he is facing him. 2-1 count. And he's saying, I've seen him break bats.
He's got one of mine now. And Bat Boy's always on call with left-handed hitters with more on the mound.
Two-two. Swing and a miss. Mariano has now struck out 7 of the last 11 batters that he's faced.
And as David Cohen would say, he worked him over. Pitches in, out, finally away. This one's off the plate. And Allen swings and misses. That's his first attempt at Mariano Rivera.
3 strikeouts for Allen today, 0 for 4. And here's Connor Jackson. 1-0. Looped into right field, coming on Swisher, and he makes the play. A 1-2-3 inning for Mariano Rivera. He did it in 11 pitches. Coming up for the Yankees, Gardner, Jeter, and Granderson. Can they win it? They have the chance in the bottom of the 9th. Yes is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. And by Grey Goose, the world's best tasting vodka. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Yankees trailed this one 1-0. They led 2-1. Then they trailed 3-2. Tied it up at 3-3 on Teixeira's home run of the eighth. And that's where we stand in the bottom of the ninth inning, as the A's again go to their bullpen, and it will be Faustino de los Santos.
Well, he's had a couple appearances against the Yankees this year, and he hasn't allowed a run. In fact, he has struck out 7 in 3 1/3 innings against the Yankees this year. You can see the 28 strikeouts in 22 in the third innings. 12 walks, maybe a bit too many, but he's a hard thrower. And the Yankees going to get a look at him tonight. Speaking of hard throwing, Mariano Rivera. It's about the speed, but more with Mo, it's about the location. Perfect tonight. He just threw the ball just where he wanted to.
Well, Gardner will lead this game off, or lead the inning off. In the third inning, Gardner and Jeter combined to score a run for the Yankees. Gardner infield single, then a stolen base, and then Jeter drives him home to tie the game at 1. That was in the third. Can that combination work again?
Well, the A's are in at the corners, guarding against the bunt.
Brett struck out in the first, infield single, the one you saw in the third, struck out again in the fifth, and popped to third in the seventh with runners on first and third and nobody out. De Los Santos can throw hard. Short bunt, takes a strike. He can throw hard, as you can see from the 96-mile-an-hour reading. Yankees have 3 walk-off wins this year. '97, 0-2.
High heat.
Swing and a miss, so he throws him a breaking ball, and Gardner, who had not been striking out a lot, strikes out 3 times tonight.
What, he had 48 appearances without a strike?
49.
49.
Yeah.
And this is a nasty breaking ball. After all the high fastballs with power, breaking ball disappears on Gardner.
Here's Derek Jeter, 2 for 2. In the month of August, Jeter's hitting .422. Derek infield single to second in the first. RBI single to center in the third. Struck out in the fifth. Lined out to Weeks in the seventh. De Los Santos, unusual the way he wears his hat. He actually has the top of his ears in the hat. Usually the hat rests on the ear.
This is just trying to keep a chill out of
the lobe.
Yeah,
no, that's not the lobe. Is on the bottom part.
The crown, I guess.
Count 2-1.
You never know. If he pitches well enough, he can start a trend.
Grounded to first, tough hop, but Allen stays with it to retire Jeter for the second out. That's going to bring up Granderson. 2 outs and nobody on.
Anderson's looking for his first hit of this series.
Started him with a breaking ball. The 0-1. 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner, strike two. Rafael Soriano up for the Yankees, likely pitch the 10th. Did he hold up? No, he did not. A strikeout of Granderson and a strong inning for De Los Santos as the Yankees go down in order in the 9th. And that means we get extra innings here in the Bronx. It's a 3-3 game. They battle Udinese. The Gunners prevailed in the crucial first leg of the playoff, but now they travel to Italy, where a victory moves them into the group stage. It all starts with match analysis on Arsenal 360 tomorrow at 10, right here on Yes. So as we go into extra innings, let's take a look at the game summary. 3-10-0 for the Yankees, 3-8-0 for the A's. Coco Crisp had a home run way back in the first inning. His RBI single in the 8th inning gave the A's a short-lived 3-2 lead. Swisher had a solo home run in the 6th inning, gave the Yankees a short-lived 2-1 lead, and then Teixeira tied the game in the 8th inning with a home run. And now the Yankees turn it over to Rafael Soriano, who will face the bottom third of the A's order here in the 10th. Soriano's pitched much better since coming off the DL. Those are his numbers.
Just 2 hits and 1 run in 7 of the 3rd innings with 6 strikeouts since coming off the DL.
He has not pitched since August 16th. Today's the 24th. Kaz, Kurt Suzuki, 1 for 3, leads off. Count 0-2. 2 breaking balls.
Suzuki's always been one of the busiest catchers in the league. He's started 102 games.
Be interesting if they play him tomorrow, day game after night game. That's usually when managers give their starting catchers a little bit of a break.
Well, the A's just called up Anthony Recker as the backup catcher.
Grounded to second. Nice hop for Cano. Suzuki hustling down the line, but he's out. 1 away. Crowd of 47,271 here at the ballpark. That's the 14th sellout of the year for the Yankees. And here is Cliff Pennington. Strike. Pennington is 0 for 2 strikeouts, and also a successful sac bunt. Count 1-1. Missed outside, 2-1. Hammered into right field, a base hit for Pennington. So the A's have the go-ahead run on.
Pennington, during his career, his brief career in the major leagues, has not hit well against the Yankees. He's under 200, but that time he got a pitch. Hit on the count, looking for a fastball, didn't miss it.
Big night for Sizemore. 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a single. That one is looped into right center. It's going to be a base hit in front of Granderson. Moving to second is Pennington, and Sizemore 4 for 4.
Well, we told you Sizemore really hits well against lefties, but he sticks in a hit against right-handed pitching here. He gets one off Soriano. Sizemore been under 200 against righties. That's why sometimes he's out of lineup when right-handed pitchers start. But tonight, a 4 for 4 night.
First time he's ever done it.
And with that hit, he probably jumped his average up against right-handers over 200. He's 199.
Here's Jamal Weeks. Weeks 1 for 3 with a walk. Throwing a lot of breaking balls. Not using the fastball that much. Count 0-1. Fouled away. There's the fastball. Count 0-2. This is the first time that Soriano has allowed 2 hits in an outing since he returned from the DL. The 0-2. Heat on the hands, fouled back. Closer Andrew Bailey is up in the A's bullpen. Pennington at second and Sizemore at first. 1 man out, top of the 10th. 3-3 game. Each team with 10 hits. Neither team has committed an error. Swing and a miss. Got him. Off speed for the second out.
Good pitch. He had Weeks flailing away. Took something off a breaking ball. And Weeks has been a good hitter with runners at scoring position this year, both at AAA and in the big leagues, but not this time.
Here's Coco Crisp, 3 for 3 with a walk. Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A 3-run home run for Crisp, his second home run of the night, and the Yankees trail 6-3.
Crisp has driven in 5 of the 6 runs. That wasn't a good breaking ball. It was in the middle of the plate. And Coco with a quick swing. Oof. And he's had a good night. Soriano hangs it. And Crisp jumps all over it.
And the pitch to Matsui is a strike. That's just the second time in his career that he's had a multi-home run game.
First time he's done it from both sides of the plate in the ball game.
Broken back, ground ball to Jeter, and he gets Matsui, and that'll do it. But the Yankees have quite a hill to climb now. 3 runs on 3 hits. Nobody left on base. Soriano gives up the 3-run home run to Crisp. To the bottom of the 9th inning last night, 6-3. Trains headed home into Manhattan, but the Yankees said not just yet. Let's see if they have a rally in their bones. Coco Crisp has hurt them. He's driven in 5 of the 6 runs, 2 home runs, for only the 2nd time in his career. And Soriano serves up the 3-run shot into the 2nd deck in right field. Ryan Sweeney will take over in left field. And the pitcher in the bottom of the 9th yesterday who had so much trouble, Andrew Bailey, will try to close it out.
Bailey had problems, but he did get the save in last night's game.
Teixeira will start it off. And there's a strike. Teixeira, Cano, and Swisher. The A's have 6 runs on 11 hits, and Crisp and Sizemore have 8 of the hits. Teixeira could not hold up.
Once again, a lot of soft stuff. The home run that Teixeira hit was on a 3-1 fastball.
Missed outside. Right now, Faustino De Los Santos, the pitcher of record for the A's, and Soriano on the losing side for the Yankees unless they rally. Count 2-2. Bailey barely escaped blowing the save last night as Nick Swisher's drive with the bases loaded ended up a couple of feet short of a walk-off grand slam. And a swing and a miss. Teixeira down on strikes.
Well, some power from an unexpected source for the Oakland A's. Coco Crisp. Home runs number 6 and 7 on the year.
the A's win this game, they obviously win the series. Now the finale is a matinee tomorrow. We'll be here on Yes with all the coverage starting at 12. But if they win tonight, they win the series. Grounded sharply to third. Sizemore bobbles, stays with it. And the Yankees are down to their final out. Well, the Yankees had lost 10, or the A's had lost 10 straight series to the Yankees. And that streak would end if the A's win this game. Yankees did so well on the road trip, 5 out of 7. And now this mini respite at home where you barely have time to get your dry cleaning done, a 3-game set. And they lost yesterday 6-5, and on the bad side of a 6-3 score right now in the bottom of the 10th. Here's Nick Swisher, Yankees' last hope. Swisher 1 for 2, a home run the other way in the 6th inning. Was hit by a pitch, he walked and struck out. That one is driven deep to right field. Jackson back, looking, see ya. 2 home runs for Swisher as the Yankees remain alive. It's 6-4. Three home runs in 2 games for Nick Swisher. Now has 18 on the season.
And a third of those 18 have come against his former team, the A's. 6 home runs now against Oakland. High fastball, and he jacks it. The crack of the bat, and the ball sails off into the night.
And here's Andrew Jones. He had pinch run for Posada in the 8th. 17th multi-home run game of Swisher's career. And Bailey works outside the Jones. There's a strike. Must have just clipped the outside corner. It didn't. Almost the same pitch, but they call it a ball, 2-1.
That one looked better.
Yankees get a base runner on. That brings up the tying run here in the bottom of the 10th. Now they're down to their final strike. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him on a breaking ball, and the Yankees lose the game 6-4. And the A's win the series, and they'll try for a sweep tomorrow afternoon. In the 10th, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. And it's the first time the A's have won a series against the Yankees since 2007. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. We'll be back to wrap it up. The A's beat the Yanks 6-4 in 10.